Welcome, everybody. Another episode of the Centre Circle podcast, episode 62.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, 62. Today, you've got myself, John.
Daz in the building.
Keep.
Again, a few bits and bobs to get through. We'll be covering the title race, of course. We're recording right after the Manchester United Arsenal game. Arsenal have managed to make sure that the title race goes to the last day, which all neutrals wanted, not me. And we'll cover, of course, Man City's result yesterday. There's been a couple more confirmations in the relegation zone. And then we've got a couple of topics that have cropped up this week around non-existent positions and questioning the legacy of one of the most revered English strikers of all time. So, but aside from that, just running you through the Premier League results for this weekend. Fulham lost at home to Manchester City 4-0. Diop took upon himself to get 2 quick yellow cards. I think at that point frustration was getting into the game. You guys see that tackle?
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. You know when someone said, I'm done, it's finished. Yeah. West Ham beat Luton 3-1 at home, which we'll come on to later. Bournemouth lost 2-1 right at the death to Brentford. That was an emotional win for Brentford as Brentford manager lost his father Friday morning. So very emotional scenes on the touchline as the team celebrated with him. Thomas Frank emotionally charged one there. Wolves lost at home to Crystal Palace 3-1, who they also had a man sent off as well. But Palace are motoring, they're doing well. Another club I said should do something different than manager. But anyway. Everton 1, Sheffield United 0. Another 3 points for Everton. Who cares about that points deduction, eh? Who cares? Newcastle 1, Brighton 1. Again, Newcastle, inconsistency. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Burnley 1. They remember that to win a game. Let's hope they'll keep remembering until Tuesday. And then last but not least for the Saturday games, Nottingham Forest 2, Chelsea 3. A bit of a comeback story there. And another last-minute snatch. Today, Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1, which has kept the title race going to the last day of the season. You'll be listening to this. By the time you listen to this, Aston Villa would have played Liverpool. And you'll be looking forward to the Tottenham Hotspur Man City game at Spurs Stadium on Tuesday night. Well, you lot will, I won't. And then on Wednesday, we have Brighton playing Chelsea and Manchester United playing Newcastle, which will kind of be the last round of catch-ups so everyone can go into Sunday all caught up. So, Daz, let's start with today's game. Manchester United 0, Arsenal 1. Talk to me.
Yeah, 3 points. It's the same story as last week. Now, at this time of the season, it's not about performances. It's about getting over the line and getting 3 points. And to be honest, I just want to pay tribute to this team, this manager. What they've done this season has been fantastic. They've taken it to the last day. Every week they've been asked, can you keep up? Can you keep up? This City team's a fantastic team. They've taken them all the way. Whether they're going to get over the line, we don't know. I don't think so personally, but what they've done this season, I think, has been fantastic. And with football, I hear a lot of, it don't matter. If they don't win it, it's all for nothing. And that's not what football's about. Football's about, we go there every week. It's about passion, desire. It's about your team giving you something to look forward to each week. There's clubs out there that ain't won cups and leagues for 40 years.
So?
They're still getting 60,000 in the stadium every week. So it's not about the trophies. Because why they're still there? Why they're still there? That's part of it. That's part of it. But that's not the only thing. There's so much more to football than just, okay, if you don't win it, it don't mean nothing. So yeah, I just want to pay tribute to the manager, the players. To this season has been fantastic as an Arsenal fan. There's been seasons where we've won stuff, we've won FA Cups and that. It's been nowhere near as good as this. So I think we just need to take a step back and applaud them for what they've done this season.
Well said, Daz. Well said. However, I think it does matter. It matters what conversation you're having. That's the key, right? It matters what conversation you're having. And you set your own standards. So yes, there are teams who have not won anything for a long time. And if that's their normal, then good for them. They still get their fans know what to expect. Crystal Palace fans are not now going to be complaining that they haven't won the Premier League or they haven't won the FA Cup. There's a baseline there. There's a level. If they were in the Championship, they would expect to challenge and win for that, right? So yes, absolute salute to Arteta, salute to the squad, for probably addressing the big issue last season, right? When the pressure was on you crumbled. I think they've crumbled a little bit less this year. I don't really buy into this thing of, oh, it's really hard because Man City is around. Because that's sport, innit? You have to beat the best at the time you're playing. If you're unfortunate to be playing now, that's just your challenge. And if you step to it, you step to it. If you rise to it, you rise to it. You know, it was hard when Man City was winning 10, 11, 12 Premier Leagues. It was hard when Mourinho came and they didn't lose a home game for 3 years. It just is what it is. So I don't subscribe to that. So yeah, fair play to them. But in the end, when you are a team that has been invested in to win things, and as a manager who has clearly said he's doing things and setting up the club in a way to be successful, ultimately we will be judged on how, again, depending on the conversation you're having, but let's be honest, right? Ultimately, you'll be judged on what you have won and the way you have won it. Obviously, where we're coming from, 2 seasons ago, we were 5th. To then have 2 seasons of challenging for the title against the City team, great. But winning matters, man. It matters. New York and Keith.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But it's interesting, your very passionate speech there.
Yeah,
is
100%.
Is what the same kind of speech Liverpool fans have been beaten with for saying, oh, but Klopp challenged Man City over the
he's not been killing you lot. It's been me.
No, and other people. I'm just saying, like, it's interesting that another team is in that position now, and now they understand it's like
it's not easy.
You can. It's not easy. Like, so I understand it to a degree, but when you look back, as people say, when you look back on Klopp, he's only won 1. If Arteta doesn't get over the line, it's look back and saying, well, you done all that for what, innit?
So, sorry to interrupt. So with those Klopp seasons where he got 95, 96, 97 points, but didn't win it, do you look back and see them as negative seasons or positive seasons?
Obviously they're
annoying
positive
seasons.
So the first one, we won the Champions League 3 weeks later, so it doesn't really matter. You know, had something to fall back on. It's okay. The last one, that one was hard because we didn't have anything to fall back on, and the progression was there, innit? So, and the funny thing in the season before that, we struggled like to defend our title, like, and then we saw Klopp come back and manage the team to get back to previous levels. Like you say, it's good to watch. It's nice, but ultimately, as a fan, as a supporter, you want your club to win things. And when you see your club going above and beyond what previous iterations of Premier League winners and Premier League teams have done, to play so well and not get something, it's soul destroying. Like, I don't particularly want Arsenal to win the league. That's more for my relationship with Arsenal. Some Arsenal fans. Not the club.
I've just saying it.
I'm just saying.
No. It's because of your relationship with Terrell.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It's just Terrell.
Terrell's just one of many, to be fair. But if you get to Sunday and don't win it, say like and you win your game, but Manchester City win their next 2 games, it's a bit like, we played so well.
Yeah, I understand. I might feel a bit different. Because it hasn't happened yet. Because I'm still in this phase. We're still in it. There's still a chance at the moment. So maybe after Sunday, if it goes the way we expect it to go, then I may feel different after that. You're going to have to come down in it.
I'm going to feel very different to last season, though. Like, to be honest, again, 2 things can be true, innit? Like, I can look at it and say, well, yes, Man City are probably the best Premiership team we've ever seen. Yes, it's very hard to beat them. But we did well, but we could have beat them. Like, it literally was in our hands. We like last season, it was in our hands as well. Even to have it in your hands, I can't remember the Liverpool seasons that well. But again, across all those seasons, were all of them, you know, in your hands up until, when was the Villa game? What, 5 games ago? 6 games ago?
Yeah, so we needed to win our last 7.
Yeah.
To win it.
So we got to 31 games and it's in our hands. You know, that's I mean, that's an achievement. It's a quote unquote. It's a achievement in itself when you're thinking about the progression of the team. But it was down to you, man. Like, this is not the old days where the team was blitzing from January. Do you know the days we used to watch the Prem and basically from end of Jan, early Feb, you kind of know what's going on.
Yeah, what's going to happen.
So, yeah, great progression. You know me, I wasn't Arteta's biggest fan. Last 2 seasons, he's done the thing. But we could have, it was in our hands. You don't lose to Villa.
And it's essentially that one game. Like, I know people look back and be like, oh, was it like back-to-back games against West Ham and Fulham earlier in the season? That you lost?
December, just after Christmas.
So like people, but that happened. You like
went to Dubai.
Liverpool dropped points after that. City dropped points for that, and then you kind of go into that Villa game. Like when it got to 30 games, I didn't think you lot would lose a game for the rest of the season, or like particularly drop points.
Yeah.
So I saw that Villa game and I was like, raw. What's like? It was weird. Like
Emery's got his number, man.
I expected to drop points after 30 games.
I
didn't think they could win the last 8.
You had more confidence than us. Remember, I remember keep saying that at the time. You had more confidence than us.
Not in a home game.
Yeah.
Particularly, like, that was even.
I looked at Spurs, Man United away, those sort of games.
I thought the Spurs today, and just going back today, like you said, you didn't play particularly well.
No,
like. Quality-wise, I said in the group chat, I don't think it was like a good game from either side. Like, I think final third, both teams was pretty dire. But there was like one moment and you took your chance, innit? And that's what you need.
And
Defended
it comes from bad defending. Yeah. That moment came from diabolical defending. A lot of people, that clip of Jamie Carragher talking about Man United defending last week against Palace, they might have another one this week because the way who was it that kept everyone on side?
Casemiro. Oh, mate.
Kept everybody and their mum on side to the point where when Ben White plays that pass forward, and I think it was Saka, he skipped. I thought, what are you doing? He's over here. I don't see Havertz control the ball. I said, oh, he must be offside.
But in Casemiro's defence, he's not a centre back, innit? So that mentality to break out once the ball's cleared. I know
you're shooting him a lot of bail, bro.
I know he's a professional footballer, etc. But
come on, man.
You have to give him a bit of slack because he doesn't play that position.
There's things you've got to do there that you don't think about when you're in
midfield.
Come on, lads. So if any of us had to go 11 aside tomorrow and play centre back, one of the basic things, but we got to keep the line. We all know this.
It's easier said than done.
I know it's easier said than done, but he wasn't even trying. He was actually strolling out watching the game. It's not like he was sprinting back to get in line and we've done a quick. He was actually just
ball watching. Yeah,
he was just ball watching.
Because he didn't even show us an option for not when Onana had the ball. He didn't even pull out wide, innit? He was just like.
So yeah, and to your point, Havertz kind of progresses the ball into the box. I still think there was a lot to do, right?
Yeah,
still a lot to do.
One.
And he finds Trossard in the 6-yard box. I think he was in between 3 Man United defenders and the goalkeeper.
Yeah, Wan-Bissaka was watching.
Pinpoint and it's 1-0. And then at that point I'm thinking, okay, now we're gonna increase our grip. Then I remember this Old Trafford. We never really do that there, you know. And they had chances. Man United created a couple of chances here and there, but poor decisions in the final third, I would argue, and some really good defending. It's a cliche, but I've heard a few people say today that's the kind of game where we might have drawn 1-1, lost our nerve towards the end, but kind of held it out at Old Trafford. Took advantage of a mistake, didn't play very well, but we got the 3 points. And that was it. Just get the 3 points.
We looked troubled. I weren't worried. Even through the second half and that, I weren't worried. We weren't getting on the ball, but United weren't. Where didn't make a save, as far as I was concerned.
No, I don't recall him making
it. No, made a few though.
There wasn't any sort of threat. We just put 10-11. This team can do that. They can actually go into their shell sometimes and just put 10-11 behind the ball. And what we didn't do
is have 4-4-2.
Yeah, and we're actually quite good, very good at it. It's basically what we done at Etihad, but it was more concentrated at Etihad. Yeah. But we can do that. But today we didn't play our football as well, which is not great. But was 1-0 up.
Yeah,
you could tell that they thought
we
don't want to concede. We don't concede. We win.
It was a little bit nervous. I think players like Partey, he had a few moments where, like, he's not as composed as what he
normally is.
He normally is.
I think he's still working his way back in after a long time.
Even Ben White, like, with Garnacho, like there's a couple times he got him, but then there's a few other times where Garnacho got past him easier than I would have expected. But like you say, it was a game that you kind of had to win, so those kind of nervous performances will creep into.
So if you look at the stats, you know, possession was fairly even, 54% Man United, 46% Arsenal. According to the stats, Man United did not create any big chances. But that big chance that is a dubious one. I think it's fairly subjective. Arsenal created one. I'm not even doing the XG thing. You know I hate XG.
Yeah. There was one chance where Garnacho got away from White, and I can't remember who else it was. And he cut in, he tried to curl it into the top left. And he just shanked it. And I was just like, the one time you got
White, they had a miscommunication. They both went with the runner.
And that's the difference.
He just got too excited.
I mean, 14 shots in total for Man United, 6 off target, 2 on target. Also had 11, 3 off target, 5 shots on target. So yeah, I think, you know, and again, eye test wasn't the best game, wasn't the most fluid Arsenal performance. I was listening to some of it on the radio. I had to leave for the last part of the game. I mean, the commentators weren't being kind, man. You know, this is one of Man United's better performances this season, and they're still walking away without anything. It was their 14th loss Premier League.
Wow.
Apparently, the last time they lost that many games, you have to go back to the 89-90 season. So you have to go back pre-Prem era.
Wow.
To get that numbers of losses.
And like the race for Europe kind of, I wouldn't say eliminates them, but they've got Newcastle on Wednesday. If Newcastle beat them, they can't catch Newcastle. So,
well, I think there's a slightly more interesting story here. Chelsea, who have been getting beat up every week, every season. I think Paul Merson had another moment of wonderful wisdom when he said that they just bought players that had done well on YouTube. Yeah, he says some stuff, doesn't he? But now they're same amount of games. They're 3 points ahead of Manchester United. Way better goal difference. So interesting, isn't it? How things can change. Surely, gonna finish 7th. If they lose if they lose or draw to Newcastle, they're not even gonna catch Chelsea.
That's crazy.
You know, so I think that's going to be a talking point. If Chelsea finish the season above Manchester United, that's going to be a social media talking point. That's for sure.
Manchester United going to end the season with minus goal difference.
Well, it's -4 now.
Yeah, so it's more than likely it's going to be minus.
Yeah.
Very much so.
They're not going to Newcastle and slapping 4 goals in and not conceding.
It's at United at home, but still.
Even worse.
Yeah, it's at home.
They're not great at Old Trafford.
They're not going to.
Not great at Old Trafford, and then Ten Hag is saying things like, "Well, you know, if the owners have got sense." Or something, you know, effectively baiting them, they won't sack me.
Listen, he hasn't.
We've seen managers sacked for less. Seen managers sacked for less. So yes, Arsenal get a result at Old Trafford. Historically not a great place to go. So if we go back to Saturday's games, the early kickoff, I remember correctly, was it early kickoff?
Yeah,
Fulham.
Early kickoff.
12:30.
Fulham 0, City 4. I mean, again, the narratives build. I think in the week, Fulham's players went to play badminton or something.
No, they were kite flying.
Kite flying, that's it.
And then they were doing their player of the season picks.
Yeah,
like Foden.
Yeah. People are talking like they couldn't have done the kite thing after they trained. Anyway.
No, it was, to be fair. Like the kite flying was after they
Exactly.
trained. Like,
People
it looks
I
looks
saw
bad.
Willian.
Like,
I saw Willian. That's what I saw.
Yeah. So yeah, Vardio cuts in and scores like a prime striker. 30 minutes in, I said, yeah, this is over.
I think he heard me on a few earlier episodes saying,
yeah.
he hasn't.
Yeah,
lived
you got
up
to
to
think
the
against fullbacks, innit? Dan Burn, you've been on his case.
No, but Vardio was not a fullback, innit? And to be fair, since the turn of the year, I think he kind of settled into the role. I think up until January, he struggled a little bit.
We need to check the episodes. I feel like you were dissing him after January still.
Maybe, but
I don't think he's been great. Apart from the last few games, that's about it, really.
And I'll say for the price tag, like if he was 74 million, like he hasn't, like I say, he hasn't been amazing.
Yeah, no, to be fair.
But he played out of position.
But we know this about Pep, right? Number one, you got to come in and get used to whatever he wants you to do. Number two, you might be lucky and play in the position that you left your club in. Right? So, to be fair to him, he's making an impact. And Pepe even said it yesterday. He said, yeah, good goal, but he's a defender and he loses too many balls for a defender, so he needs to work on that. You know. So, but yeah, Vardio puts them ahead. Neat 1-2 with De Bruyne. Cuts inside the defender, finishes it. I thought it was all right. He's moving like a forward player. I love Jesus to do the same. Then Foden makes it 2-0 after who got taken out? Was it Bernardo Silva? Did you see a tackle before the ball got to Foden?
Oh yeah, took the floor, weren't he? Yeah.
Wiped him out clean. But again, Foden again. There's been a lot of discourse, but we'll come to young player of the year and player of the year. Actually, we'll talk about that. But I think Foden wins young player of the year. I think he's nailed on. And then Vardio again, another decent finish, you know.
Yep.
Sliding in far post. That was 71st.
The goalie was dodgy on that one though. That's the one that slid under him.
Yeah. Leno, that's unlike him. He doesn't make many mistakes. That was unlike him. And then, Duke lost his head. He just did one of those slide tackles that where you do that kind of stuff in the box. It was like Kim by me. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And we were killing him, saying, look, don't do those challenges area. Frustration, 90 plus 5 minutes. And then Julian Alvarez.
Did you see that they asked Garvio if he wanted it for his hat trick?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they asked him. Yeah,
and he said, no.
Yeah, Walker and Rodri went up to him and said, "Oh, do you want it for your hat trick?" And he said, "No, yeah."
Ah, fair play to him.
He said, no, takes it. But fair play was shook, bro.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be the one.
But the
takeaway, even Haaland had been subbed as well. So they was like, "Oh, do you want it?" And he said, "No."
Yeah, but they go like
I'm taking that, bro.
Yeah, you should have took it, man. When is he going to chance to get a hat trick again?
Yeah, when they done at the table stands during the Arsenal game, they got the goal difference down to like 3 now.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I didn't clock it.
They've caught on, because they've been battering teams.
Absolutely battering teams. Speaking of Haaland, did you see the chances he missed?
Yeah. See one way he put high and wide when he was
there was a header that I thought, okay.
I mean that one, the high and wide one.
Yeah,
he should have done a lot better.
It was a typical move.
Yeah.
And then he's trying to cut inside and curl it. He was on the right side of the goal, left footed. I'm thinking, right, that's it. He's trying to curl it top left.
He's gonna give you those, isn't he? Like
and
when
then,
you're in those chances time and time again.
Yeah.
Like that's just gonna naturally happen.
And I'll be honest, I'm looking at those thinking, phew, because them two go in, goal difference is down to nothing. And I think, depending on how Spurs do, we could be having one of those conversations next week, bro. We could be like watching goal difference, literally.
Well, it's +3 difference at the moment now.
Yeah.
So that means Arsenal would have a 3-goal head start.
Yeah.
If it comes down to goal difference.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So essentially, whatever happens on Tuesday, we just need, at the very least, Spurs have to score goals. At the very least. So even if they're going to lose, just lose 2-1 or 3-2. Do you know what I mean? So look, to the whole pressure point, right? That's another angle to today. City win yesterday. They win early. They're chilling. So the boys, Arsenal had to go to Old Trafford today and get that win. Do you think that 24 hours, again, when people want to make comparisons about the mental strength of the team compared to last year, those 24 hours make a difference?
Yeah, I think so. Knowing you have to win, innit? Like there's like you want to win all your games and you have to win all your games. Yeah. But Man City winning so early on the weekend, that a point's not good enough, innit? So yeah, man, like the character that Arsenal are showing this season has been really good. Like I say, there's been the odd game where you've had the slip, but yeah, I think they've done well to hang in there.
Well, we'll see. Either way for the neutrals, I guess. When was the last time we had a title race go down to the absolute last day?
Liverpool City,
like 3 seasons ago.
Yeah, 3 seasons ago, wasn't it?
And City went 2-0 down.
Yeah,
against
Villa.
Yeah, that's when Gundogan came in. You talked about last week. Yeah.
And Zinchenko come on as well. Zinchenko, Gundogan changed the game.
I forgot about it, to be honest.
That was only 1 point. That means you lost the league by 1 point, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't a goal difference thing. All right. Cool. Right, to the other end of the table. We could now have that missing Kompany conversation. So Spurs beat Burnley 2-1. Burnley went ahead actually. Larson goal. When I saw that Burnley goal, it was a nice flowing move. And then the guy's done Larson's done a really good finish from inside the box. That is the goal that Burnley want to score every time they have possession.
Yeah.
It's like it's come off. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, hey. But it's too late. And even in that passage of play, there were a couple of hairy moments. Because they played the ball out from the keeper.
Yeah.
There was a couple of hairy moments where Spurs intercepted, but they got the ball back. And I was thinking,
One guy done really well. We went past about 2 or 3 players.
Yeah. But before he did that...
Yeah, he just about held on to it. Yeah.
They look at Ricochet and did all that. So I was like, okay, that's cool. But yeah, Spurs then come back. Pedro Porro.
Keeper on that one.
I know.
Near post,
Yeah.
didn't it? Yeah.
Like, I know there's a bit of power behind it, but I was like...
First thing I was thinking, you greedy. How are you shooting from there? But yeah, keepers, I think keepers should be disappointed with that, as they say. And then Van der Ven, what a finish.
Mickey.
What a finish, using a defender.
Yeah,
Pulled
throwing
it
it around him.
What are you even doing there, to be honest?
They needed the win, man.
Highlight.
They needed the win. Now, I thought that the Champions League was out of reach for them.
No.
But it's not. That's it. Who have Villa got next?
Liverpool tonight. Liverpool tomorrow. They need Liverpool to win.
Yeah, see these man champion Liverpool in the group. Today.
No. We don't need Spurs in the Champions League. I don't want that.
No, but we need them to think they got a chance of it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So we need Liverpool to win that
All
game
right,
tomorrow.
Come on, Liverpool. Wouldn't be saying that often. But yeah, I mean, they've had such a poor run of results recently. They needed a win. They have a pep in their step. And yeah, that's kind of game on for Tuesday because they need to do everything that they need to do. And their last game of the season,
They got Sheffield United away.
and Sheffield United.
So that's basically 3 points.
Did you see the discourse after the game?
Which game? The Tottenham.
So they done their
yeah. The
farewell lap.
lap of honor. Yeah.
And everyone was like, hold on. You should be doing this on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like,
But it
so
makes
kind
sense.
of like everyone's checked
It
out.
makes sense not to do it. I understand.
No, but
why.
apparently,
I don't understand why they've not done it.
Apparently, you always do it at your last weekend home game.
Oh, really? I just thought it was your last home
Because
game.
it would go on till like midnight or something if you done it on a Tuesday. Yeah.
Fair enough. But I just found it quite amusing, the responses from a certain fan base in it.
But then I don't know. But maybe that means Man United. Did they do it today?
No, because they got new. No,
They would do it today. They would do it today, then, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
That's a good
But then
point,
look all that when that thunderstorm come and everything.
Oh yeah, out in the rain.
But
yeah.
I'll be honest, the season they've had, they might have all cancelled it. They might have all just said, you know what, it's not appropriate.
Well, no one ain't staying when the stadium's leaking on them and when all the rain's coming. No one's there for that.
You're right, you know. Their last home game is Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday evening.
Yeah,
So
it'd be interesting to see. But
no. Look, I mean,
Spurs are funny. Like, you know, you're talking about your record at Old Trafford. Like, Man City don't have a good record at Spurs or the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Whether that will come into effect, I don't know.
Exactly.
Like, Spurs are just so
unpredictable.
Yeah, like even on Saturday, like they got the win, but they weren't great. Like they were 1-0 down at half. No, they weren't 1-0 down at half time, but they went behind. And I think if you go behind against City, do they have the mental fortitude to get back in the game? And I know like a draw will do you guys well, but I don't know. Like I think if Man City score the first goal, I think it's a long afternoon.
I think even if Spurs score, even Spurs could be 3-0 up at half time, and I reckon Man City could still come back and win 5-3.
With everything that's going on right now, I'm not even exaggerating. To Daz's point, unless Spurs are 3-0 up in the 87th minute, I'm not believing. Serious. We've seen them do what? We've seen them do funnier things. So, nah.
And it's a thing like, they've got a team with players that are adaptable, innit? And it's just like, I know you want to play a style of football. Like, I know that's your thing. But how much better could you be if you just tweak some things in game?
I think sorry, Daz. I think Ange Postecoglou's problem is he's got 11, maybe 12 players that can do what he wants to do. So when one of them is injured, suspended, unfit, or you play a team where you'd want to do what you want to do, but in a slightly different way, he's stuck.
But it's funny you say that because must have been last week you know, when quotes come back and bite managers
Mhm.
in the butt at the start of the season, he was like, well, you work with the players that you got. Like, if you want to do something, this is what you do.
Yeah.
And then last week he went, yeah, we need 2 or 3 more players to get the style of football that I
Yeah.
want to play. And it's like, it's fine to admit that. Like, obviously, you don't really want to say that at the start of the season, but you can say not all the pieces are right there, etc. You can rather than just be like, well, I can do it with this, when you know you can't, because that comes around and
But yeah, you have to adapt. That's part of
Yeah.
management. You're not going to have your 11, 12, 13 players that you specifically want for every single game. So there's certain games where people are out, people are injured, he's got no left back. You need to change it. You need to change it around and try. You can't just say, oh, well, I can't do anything. This is all I've got. That's part of management. It's not going to be a perfect situation. You've got to be adaptable. And you can't just, he lost what, 4 in a row, 5 in a row?
4 in a row before Burnley.
Yeah,
went.
so like, that's not good enough.
I think what's interesting about Postecoglou is he tried to come in and be, I'm not saying he was trying to be refreshing, but I'm just going to be myself. This is how I speak. This is how I am. And over time, Premiership has got to him. The journalists.
Beats you down, man.
Yeah, the journalists, the
Yeah.
scrutiny, all the stuff. And then I just feel like he's just got grumpier and grumpier and grumpier.
But it
Yeah.
did work for him because if you think back to Christmas, all the Spurs
was-
fans were thinking he was the best
Yeah.
thing since sliced bread. The
Yeah.
media were loving him, hello mate, and all that.
Yeah. I don't
But
know,
now-
mate. I don't know, yeah.
But what I will say is that had the season gone the opposite way around, had he started like this, I think he'd have been in trouble. He's lucky that he got all that money in the bank because of how well the first
Yeah.
15 games went.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I think there's a few Spurs fans that are looking at him like, we're not sure about you now.
Yeah.
So
And
that's one to watch.
yeah, let's go back to a conversation we had a while ago about style of play. Like, Spurs might be loving the style of play, but where's it getting you, innit? You can see there's small progression. When did they finish? 5th last year? 5th or 6th?
5th, I want to say.
Yeah, so they were on course for top 4 this season. I don't think they'll get it. But again, okay, you've got the style of play that you didn't want from Conte, but where's it got you, innit? Like, I think you can have the nice style of play, but when you need to batten down the hatches, innit? Like,
To be fair to him, and I don't want to do this for Spurs manager often, to be fair to him, I think he has definitely got a squad that isn't entirely to his kind of suiting. And in a league like the Premier League, you know, working all the way through the Premier League with that, it's harder, right? This is not Scotland, where he was at Celtic, he brought in a few players and then he started to kill the league. So I do think for a first season in the Prem, this is his first season.
Yeah, he done well.
You know,
yeah.
managing in the Prem with a team that's historically, you know, got some, let's be honest, some deep-rooted behaviours, right? Like, we can talk all the Spurs and shit and laugh or whatever. He lost his best ever, main goal output, which is Harry Kane, right? And we can say about how he inhibits the team and all that stuff. But if he had Harry Kane, there would have definitely been a lot more goals in that team this season. That would have got him out of situations. There would have been games where, you know, he's got a couple of goals. And he might even have got a few more goals out of Son as well, with Harry Kane around. So I think whilst I don't think he's done himself any favours with the way he's acted and, you know, he's taken to the Prem, I think he might look back on that and maybe he'll adjust. Or more likely, I think he's going to dig in. That's what we see, because ego, pride, he's going to see, he's going to dig in the whole mate thing and it's going to turn a little bit sinister. But he's done okay. I think he's done okay. I don't think he's in danger at all. I think I think this summer he'll do another round, innit? Get a few people out, get a few people in, maybe 3-4 players. He's not necessarily a big spender. I've never seen anywhere where, he's never been able to spend big, let's be honest. No disrespect, he's not been at our club too. So, yeah. Champions League next season, that'll be what he lives and dies on, I think.
Yeah, and you got to think there's 2 or 3 clubs below him that will be spending more than him. No matter what he spends, they're going to be spending more than him. So it's going to be another challenge to come where they're coming now.
Yeah. Villa are going to be around. Whatever they do in the Champions League, they're going to have more money than they had this year, right? They'll have Champions League money, etc.
Newcastle's going to be investing. Chelsea's going to be investing. Man United's going to be investing.
Even if Chelsea don't invest, I'm telling you. I remember I said at the beginning of the season, I said, It's not about this season. Let him get in there. Let him do some stuff. They might let some more players go. I think a couple of people got to come back on loan and Kunku will be fit. I think they're gonna cook a little bit next season, man. I'm not saying they're gonna win the league or anything or challenge, but it's gonna be different. So yeah.
I think sorry, just last point. I think Ange will kind of regret how he performed in the league, in the domestic cups as well.
Yeah.
Like there was a couple of times where he could have put out
a stronger team. Yeah.
So yeah, I think he might reflect on that next season if they don't qualify for Europe or
the
lesser conference.
So that game confirmed Burnley's relegation. And I think I saw a quote where Kompany said, it's an opportunity to get back to the Premier League as soon as possible. That was how he described the relegation, which is true, but I still don't hear any reflections from him. And I don't know whether that's because he wants to maintain a certain thing in public or he generally just feels like, I did the right thing or I approached it the right way. And surely, even if he doesn't admit to any of us, he must look at this season and say,
missed opportunity.
Yeah. There were things we could have done. There were opportunities to give ourselves another chance to implement our way in the Premier League, even if that meant being a bit more pragmatic in places, right? Now, the other argument you could be is that Luton did that and they're still getting relegated. They're probably going to get relegated as well.
Well, they're basically down,
Yeah.
That's basically confirmed as well.
Yeah. So, what do you think? And if you're what's the NFL that's part owner? What's his name? The NFL player that part owns Burnley.
JJ Watt.
Yeah, if you're JJ Watt and Associates, what are you thinking? Do you make a move this summer? Do you stick with Kompany, let him get you back up? What?
I'll stick with him. I think it's more going to be whether he wants to stay rather than Burnley wanting to keep him. I'll pose the question, is the jump too big from the Championship? Because the same three have gone down, and if you take away if Nottingham Forest's off the field points deduction, if you look on the field, they weren't even close, really. They're good like 8. They would have been a good 8 points behind everyone else. Burnley would have been, 10 points behind? Well, so they weren't even really that close to staying up.
True, but Luton would have been okay then. With the point, like
Luton, no, remember Forest will have 4 more points, so they'll be even further away from them. Yeah,
but Forest are second season in, so is the jump that big? They survived again. It's only 2 seasons in.
I'm just thinking
Brentford are 4 seasons in now?
Yeah.
This is Brentford's 4th season.
Yeah. I don't think
but
the
they
jump
will
is big.
struggle though, innit?
Bournemouth.
They will struggle. I don't know.
Yeah, Fulham at 3 or 4 as well.
Yeah, Fulham are 3 or 4.
Yeah,
but
I don't think
these were teams that had Premier League experience, though, didn't they?
Burnley have.
Yeah.
Burnley have. I know it was under a different
Burnley has
regime.
spent more time in the Prem than not in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I know it's a different regime. I don't think the gulf is that big because you do get some really good football in the Championship, and I just think sometimes managers overthink what they have to do to stay in the Premier League. So if you take Brentford, Frank coming up, he didn't really just go and be like, we're going to sit back and soak up the pressure. But they did that when they had to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I remember we went there and we drew 3-3 there in like their first season up. And like we took the lead and they were like, well, we might be able to get something out of this. And then they started playing. But when they got that lead, they just kind of shut up shop.
Yeah.
So there's a balance. And I think a lot of the managers that have come up have just overthought what they need to do. And granted, it's hard, like especially if you haven't managed in the Premier League before, it's hard to get the balance. But I think you've got to go and just give it a try.
I think I've got a slightly different view to keep. I think if we look at the examples of people that have stayed, so let's say people who have done 2 seasons or more, right? Because you can survive a season and the next season. So Brentford's a great example. They have a very clear system for player recruitment. They have a very clear system of identifying players who are going to fit. And even though they've been getting all this Prem money, they've not started doing madnesses. They've not started buying players for 80 million, 90 million. Listen, most of the time Brentford sign a player, I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
I've never heard of them. I can't name you Brentford's starting 11 today. I'm not going to lie to you. I can probably name you 5 Brentforders if I'm lucky. If I'm absolutely lucky, I can name you 5. Right? So to me, that shows me that their process works. Whatever league they're in, etc. They had a very, and I know it's been documented, the whole data thing, blah, 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 blah. But again, even Brighton came up to doing their thing and it's worked. So I think the Premier League is just unforgiving if everything through your structure and the whole chain isn't working more often than it's not.
Okay, you'll get exposed. You'll get exposed.
And Man United is a great example of that. People keep talking about, this isn't working, that isn't working, etc., etc. You will get exposed. So Forest, I think, are a little bit of an exception to that.
Yeah,
right?
because they were a bit lucky, weren't they, really?
So because they bought all those players, so people will say it's scattergun. They would argue we got a good young a good coach that's highly revered. So they had Cooper there, right? Got all these players. I would just say you bought a lot of players, figured out who was good or not.
Yeah.
And even within that, you got some quality that's probably above your station. Even their keeper, the PSG keeper they got on loan, all that kind of stuff. Then got a little bit better, a little bit more targeted this summer. So you got Hudson-Odoi at a fantastic price. Little things like that you sign, Origi, etc. So I would argue that one wasn't so much process, just volume.
Yeah.
And I think next season we'll really, really, really see what going at Forest.
That's like a poor man's Chelsea.
Exactly. I think
we'll
really
see Nuno having a pre-season. I think they'll be a little bit more kind of grounded and established going into next season.
Yeah. We saw it with Wolves, right? So I think what people forget as well, with Wolves, when he started to go down with Nuno, there was stuff going on off the pitch as well. But in the early days, when again, they were signing players we didn't know, all from the Portuguese league, right? But there was a structure there, there was a process, the way they were going to do things. And he was a decent manager. I think he did well with Wolves. I think he finished 7th for them one season.
They got
so maybe now they've landed. But yeah, to your point, Daz, I just think if everything isn't right, so we've been talking about Burnley, their recruitment, I think we talked about it earlier in the season, the recruitment was mostly on players. And I looked at that and I thought, you look like you're preparing for the Championship. The players you've signed. You look like you're preparing to go back. They're spend big money on that Man City keeper. You're not willing to change your style. You're saying we're going to do it. So there's lots of things that I'm saying, nah, you're not. This box isn't checking for the Premier League. This box isn't checking for the Premier League. And I think that's that. If we look at Sheffield United, I mean, we could do it all over the board for them. So I think the 3 teams that, they say the table doesn't lie, but I think the 3 teams that are going down, we can look at lots of things that actually what you need to survive or do well in the Prem, they didn't have enough of it compared to everyone else. Luton, manager had a good pragmatic approach. They probably took a little bit of probably took too long
to get going.
To get going and come to terms with the Prem and not be awed by the stadiums. The captain said the stuff that happened with the captain. Let's not underestimate how that could have affected the players as well. That's not an easy thing to see and have. So they just didn't have enough quality for long enough.
Yeah, that's
so maybe you could say recruitment there, maybe.
Yeah.
Right? Minus Ross Barkley's
just while we're
redemption.
talking relegation and the teams and around there, catch the playoffs. Who are you expecting to come up? It was 2 poor games.
I was about
two
to say
poor
that,
games
man.
today.
I was excited. I love the Championship. And I was like,
2 very poor games.
Dry.
I'll keep it real with you. I only watched the final. I didn't even bother watching it.
It's 0-0. Both games were 0-0.
So
Basically.
There was 0-0 Leeds Norwich and 0-0
West Brom and Southampton. So they now got second legs in the week. Who are you expecting to go up?
I say going into it, none of the teams had form. So it's like a potluck. So I'd say West Brom played really well today. I think that was a bit unfortunate.
Yeah. Who's West Brom's manager now?
Spanish guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dark hair, innit? Yeah.
If you had said Slaven Bilic or Tony Mowbray, I don't know.
No. To be fair, like these kind of new pragmatic managers are just dripping down into the Championship.
That's where they get the start. I'm telling you. Telling you.
It's too hard to call, man.
Because Leicester's manager is what? Ex-Pep guy.
Pep.
We've got the Ipswich guys, ex-Man United. The new baby Artetas, they're everywhere, bro.
Sorry, just quickly on the Championship. Did you see that Racine got released from Hull?
Yes.
I thought that was quite...
Yes.
But it's again, like you said, if your visions don't align, which is what the statement pretty much was, then...
But that one there is interesting because...
Are you defending a manager here?
I always defend managers. I don't know enough about Hull and I don't know enough about his journey there. And quite frankly, I do find him a little bit annoying when he does his pledgetry. But he's a bit too thorough. He's like an English Roberto Martinez.
I like him. I like him.
I want him to do well, and I could.
And he played for Hull, didn't he?
He played. And he was Rooney's assistant at Derby.
Yeah, he's done his time. His time.
So I think the main problem there was that they got in a lot of loans. Not a lot of loans, but they got some key loans in January. They spent a bit with the hope to push. Well, and right, they got down to the last day.
They only missed it by
that's what I was about to say. He's missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
on the last day of the season, lost his job. Again, I don't know the direction. I don't know what kind of football they play, etc. And it kind of goes back to the whole Bournemouth thing, which all you lot challenged me fairly, and even the whole what's going to happen with West Ham is depends who they get in.
Yeah.
That's always a thing.
Yeah.
So if they get in someone, to your point, that's like the Leicester manager or someone, maybe they feel like on paper has got a bit more pedigree. They're looking at what one of my friends calls it looking at someone else's wife. They're looking at Leicester, Ipswich, and that type of manager.
Yeah.
If they don't feel Racine is one of those, and they go and try and get on that bandwagon now with the team that he took just outside the playoffs,
Yeah, on the cusp.
then that probably falls into the stuff I've been saying.
Okay.
If they just go and get another merry-go-round championship manager, then that's definitely not what I advocate
Yeah,
for.
I don't think they will. And I think he'll get another job. I think his
I hope
stock
so.
has risen
Yeah.
enough over the last few years.
Because even that Derby situation, you know, everyone acknowledges I think their points deduction was 10 points or something, or 15 points, that team. It was double figures.
Yeah.
And Rooney almost kept them up. That management team almost kept them up, and he was part of that. So I think you're right. From there, he's got very clear ideas about football, because again, when he does punditry, he articulates that very well. So yeah, I think he'll get another decent championship job. Or he might get the Birmingham job and bring him up from League One.
Yeah, it's not a bad shout,
see.
to be fair.
But yeah, so back to the Prem. As the table stands, we said Burnley confirmed, Sheffield United were already gone. We're just to see how Burnley do. And to Daz's point, I think somehow Kompany stock hasn't taken that much of a hit. He might be a little bit in demand. Maybe even a team that's coming up, or a team that makes a change at the lower end of the Prem might knock on his door. Or Europe. I don't think he'd be adverse to going to Europe. Or he stays there and they come straight back up. Let's see. Luton have not been confirmed, but it's all about
confirmed.
one game left.
Goal difference against them.
Yeah,
They need
they
like a
draw.
12. They need a 12 goal swing.
Yeah, exactly. So they're kind of done. But I think it's not often I say this, but I think they can be all right with this season, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
could
like,
go
no
right
one
with the
expected them to come up anyway last year.
Yeah.
And they gave it a good go.
Facetious keep. No, but on a serious note, I think you take the financial gains of this season. You know, you've helped. You know, Ross Barkley. You've helped Ross Barkley with a little redemption arc. I won't be surprised if we see him back in the Prem next year.
Lokonga.
Lokonga again. I don't think it helps him with Arsenal, but I think it helps him with a Prem team
Yeah.
or a European first top flight team. Some players have come up and showed themselves. I think Adebayo's given himself a decent account. Carlton Morris has given himself a decent account. Doughty.
Yeah.
Someone's definitely buying him.
Yeah.
And I'm talking decent Prem team.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if a top half Prem team tries to buy him. I don't know. Maybe we should have a look. So yeah, I think the manager as well. Let's not forget the manager.
Yeah, I think he's done
Done all right.
himself really well.
Maybe he rocks up at Hull, right? Who knows? So yeah, I think it's one of the few times when I see a relegation team, I'm like, you know what, man? You got enjoy the ride, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Some of you, no disrespect, but some of you lot will not play Old Trafford again. Some of you lot, you know what I mean? You're not gonna play those places again. So fair play. You'd have played at Wembley and played at all the big stadiums in the country.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And your boy Moyes got a victory at his last home game, you know.
Boy. Nah. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. I don't see it happening. I don't see West Ham, even though I said out of all of them, to your question last episode, that could lay a glove on them. But I don't know. I don't know if there's any love lost there. I don't think the West Ham, I don't know if the players are going to be on a fight for the gaffer business. Because West Ham, where are they in the table now? They're 9th. They can't be caught by Brighton. Oh, they can do actually. Brighton's got a game in hand on them. They're not going to get in the Europa Conference League. What are they playing for?
Do it for Declan. Hashtag do it for Declan. Do it for Declan.
Do you think Antonio?
Do it for Declan.
You think Suchek and Antonio and them man are warming up thinking, all right, if we beat these lot, Declan can win the Prem?
Yeah.
I would love to think
He
about
needs to be on the phone to them, messaging them, everything.
I'm sure he is, bruv.
Everything.
Apparently, he offered someone a watch. He said, listen, you lot are full of player.
Yeah.
And if you lot do with him, he said, I'll buy you that watch, bruv. That's mine now. I'll get everyone in the team to chip in. Yeah? You can help us win the league. So yeah, look, I don't see that. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. So yeah, I think relegation's all but sorted. But again, well, we got to the second to last weekend of the Prem before and two teams could still mathematically made it. So again,
But
it's
like
not,
that, if the points deductions never came into play, they would have been gone already.
Yeah,
innit?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. That's
They
true.
would have been gone.
And you know what? Look, I'm not Sean Dyche's biggest fan, but shout out to Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
How many points they get deducted for?
No,
Like
that's
8.
Yeah, there's
8.
loads.
Yeah.
Yeah. They would be well up. There'll be 2 points behind West Ham if they didn't have that.
Yeah, so it was 8
They'll be
points.
well up the table.
And that's, remember, it was 10. They got 4 back, and then they got another
So
2.
he would have been on 48 points. So he would have been level with Bournemouth.
Yeah,
He would have been level with
just
Bournemouth.
behind West Ham.
Yeah. And for those that didn't
no,
know,
West Ham are 9th.
they decided not to appeal the 2
Yeah,
points.
they don't need them no more.
They
Yeah,
were like,
they
"Ah,
need
it's
them
all
no
right."
Yeah, to come with, and it cost money and all of that. The stadium was being done. So yeah, fair play to Sean Dyche.
1-0
Dug it out.
Dyche, man. How many 1-0 wins at home have they had? I
Bro.
think they've won the last 5 at Goodison,
listen.
1-0.
I'm looking
Yeah, it's
now,
mad.
yeah.
Except for the Liverpool game.
Yeah, 1-0,
Yeah.
drew 1-1, 1-0 Brentford, 2-0 Liverpool, 2-0 Forest at home, to be fair. 1-0 Burnley
Yeah,
at home.
1-0.
Yeah, that's why Pickford was in
Yeah.
for the golden
for the
glove,
Golden
innit?
Guys,
Like,
it's all them
Yeah,
1-0
it's
wins.
true. It's true. I mean, looking back, they've basically won. They've not lost. Yeah, they've not lost since the end of March.
Wow.
and before then, they hadn't won in 12 games.
Yeah.
So it's just mad
That's
how
a
it
lie,
just flips,
sorry.
innit?
That's a lie. Chelsea beat them 6-0 in the middle of April. But aside
yeah,
from
yeah,
that,
yeah. Before we played
at the Premiership.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, fair play to them. It's not often you'll see me giving someone Dyche any praise, but no, fair
But
play.
yeah, they're like a match made in heaven, innit? Like Everton and Dyche, they just go together.
Wow. Yeah, but I guess if you speak to Everton fans, like old school fans, they want to go back to days where they played decent ball. They had players who could do stuff. And I guess
But
They
that was
got-
a long
no, wait,
time
but hold
ago.
on. But they got a really small taste of that when Ancelotti came back. That's where the owners thought, if you were the owners of the club at that time, you would have thought, I'm the guys they're going to love because I've brought this here now.
Yeah.
James, James Rodriguez came in. Who else did he bring in? I just remember there was a couple of times I'm like, you weren't going there unless he was
Oh,
actually-
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I could see what they were trying to do, and then it kind of all went left from there. But yeah, look, again, that's another one. Remember I said, new stadium, all of that. Let's see. We're not going to look forward 3 seasons as Sean Dyche's manager. Not happening. All right, in terms of results, anything else you want to talk about? Well, yeah, look, West Ham 3 Luton 1. Lokonga put Luton ahead. The movement and the finish
Yeah.
was very striker-like. Came from deep, head near post header. It was a bit easy from West Ham, to be honest. But then, yeah, Ward-Prowse, Souček, and 19-year-old academy graduate Earthly.
Yeah. You know what I like when like an academy guy scored his first goal and they just go crazy.
Bro,
He just like,
Don't know what to
"Ah!"
do, yeah, don't know what to do.
He did the badge slap, he did the slide, he did about 3 celebrations in one. Yeah,
it's good to see,
sick,
man.
Nah, it
It's
was
good to
dope.
see.
It was dope. And the whole team was happy for him.
Yeah.
Obviously, you all know him. But yeah, 22 minutes. It just summed them up. 22 minutes of madness. And then before you know it, you're 3-1 down. All but confirmed. So yeah, I mean, again, they've not been on the best one, West Ham. You come up against Luton, you need a win. Otherwise, it's gonna looking like you leaving was the right thing, Mr. Moyes. So yeah, hopefully they can carry that momentum into next week. Everyone just needs to try and lay a glove on West Ham. Okay, cool. So that's what the Prem game's done. We've covered a little bit of the Championship. A couple of interesting discussions have been happening this week. One of which I saw a quote from, said James Rodriguez. And he said, well, look, a lot of the young kids, every kid wants to be a number 10, but the position doesn't exist anymore. And I don't know if I agree. What do you think, Daz?
With which part of the statement? The first bit or the second bit?
Good point. It's the second bit I was going to disagree with. But the first bit,
I don't think every kid wants to be a number 10. I don't agree with the first bit.
I think kids want to be one of the front 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
That's
they
what they
want
want to be.
I think they want to be like winger and stuff like that now.
Mm.
I think they want to be like the Mo Salah, the Sakas. I
Yeah.
think that's what everyone wants to be. No one wants to be the number 9. No one wants to be Haaland. Everyone wants to be Mbappe,
Yeah.
Neymar. That's who everyone
Yeah.
wants to be.
Yeah.
Coming in off the wing. So
Yeah.
that's the part of the conversation.
I think the next
don't
generation
agree
of kids are going to want to be midfielders because it's all about the players that influence them now. So Bellingham's
Yeah.
going to be a star for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
Or for the next 10 years. I mean, I keep forgetting he's only 20 or something. It's ridiculous. You got Declan Rice is probably going to make the next step in his like profile. You've got the Real Madrid boys, Tchouameni, Camavinga. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if the next generation is, I want to be a midfielder, I want to be a midfielder. But I think I slightly get his point. They all want to be attacking players.
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne is super popular with kids as well. But for him to say the position doesn't exist anymore, I don't agree. I just think it looks different.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think the way he played it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And I think he's talking about himself. I'd put him into the same sort of account as Ozil.
Yes, and
As
Ricom, and I'm not saying Ozil's as good as Ricom before everyone kills me, but
yeah.
that kind of
Luxury number 10, that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
You out of possession.
Ozil wasn't a luxury 10, bro.
He was.
We need to allow this narrative, bro. He worked just as hard as everyone else.
No, he didn't.
He did.
Out of position, he never.
Bro,
How many tackles did he make?
bro, we can get the stats up, bro. He covered as much ground as
Look
anyone
at
else.
someone like Odegaard. Odegaard has been described as an Ozil with work rate. And that's the
just
number
lazy
10
commentary,
now.
bro. That's the lazy commentary.
That's what
I'll give you
that's what we're
Ricom.
saying.
That guy just walked. Like,
That's
and
That's what we're saying. And it's the luxury players. Now, everyone out of possession needs to do the same work as everyone else.
So basically, you mean like that kind of free role player doesn't exist
Yeah.
anymore?
Basically what Grealish was doing at Villa.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And what,
Everyone else did all the work.
And I put it down to Pep Guardiola. I feel like this has come from Pep. If you're in a Pep team, unless you're Messi, everyone has to work.
I would even say earlier than that. Mourinho, bro.
I was going to say Mourinho.
Mourinho,
bro.
maybe a few managers. Yeah, maybe a few
Mourinho
managers.
came and said, no. Pace, power, strength, work rate, out without the ball. And I will not have anyone in that kind of, in line with the posts.
Yeah.
Just floating around without the ball. Not having that. So,
I think it kind of comes from the evolution of
the
formations.
Yeah.
So you had 4-4-2 where you had like two strikers.
Yeah.
And then you kind of went,
well, one plays off the striker.
yeah, so you kind of had your number 10 became like a support striker. So I'm trying to think who was a support striker.
Bergkamp.
Yeah, prime example. Yeah, Bergkamp, even Heskey, second season on from Liverpool.
More like a Zola.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know.
I said support striker.
No.
Listen to the key word.
No.
He was always water carrier.
Listen, be respectful, yeah. We're not going from Bergkamp.
I'm just talking about the profile, not the comparison. You know, like you said, yeah. And then now you kind of go if you do 4-2-3-1, that tip of the three is so like a Palmer kind of, but again, he doesn't have a free role in it. He's got to do the work, etc.
And I think you always, don't get me wrong, I think you always had to do the work. But to your point, the formations meant where you did the work was different, right? And again, the whole thing of describing positions as numbers, let's be honest, that's more of a European thing, right? So even now I hear players of the yesteryear complaining, now there's all this numbers thing. He's a 6, he's a 8, he's a this. And I'm like, bruv, allow it. Those positions have always been talked about like that. We just didn't talk about them like here.
Yeah.
Europeans they've always done that. But I just think it's changed, and I think it probably those kind of players or being able to play the role in that way died away for a bit.
Yeah.
To your point about the formations and who was playing where, etc. But I think now, to your point, now that we've got the kind of the 4-2-3, that has allowed it to kind of come back into quote unquote fashion and allow those players to play their game. And I think it's no coincidence that kind of during that period is when Odegaard was forging his way through as a pro. And it kind of wasn't as appreciated as much. Obviously, his performances need to get there, but it wasn't appreciated much because there probably wasn't a home and a system at that level of the game that allowed him to flourish. Because in that kind of, I don't know, what year would you say? I don't know, pre-2017-18, 4-3-3, where'd you play Odegaard?
Yeah, because that's probably the right time frame. Because you think James, he got offered the World Cup, which was 2014 in Brazil, where he really performed. When did Germany win that World Cup? And Ozil.
Yeah,
same 2014.
Exactly. So there's that kind of time. So I don't know. I think I think it's just another case of things when how they used to be. Because he could probably play in that 4-3-1 now. He could probably play in that system now. I mean,
Well, would you play him?
He could play where Odegaard plays. But like you say, he'd have to work hard without the ball. He'd have to do all of that. But that's probably where, if he was playing, that's where he'd want to play.
But he wouldn't enjoy it. He
But
wouldn't.
that's the thing, like,
he wouldn't. If you put him where Odegaard plays now, he would not enjoy that.
Yeah, but if you think in those kind of times, you had
He's not attending.
in the middle three, you had the two behind the 10 that would do all the dirty work.
Yeah.
Where
it's like Kevin said when he came on the it's kind of gone to that a little bit more where he's got the 2 security guards.
Yeah.
But now the security guards, they also play forward as well.
Yeah.
And you've got to defend.
Yeah.
So it's all
it's all interchangeable as well. Yeah. So and that's what he wouldn't thrive in.
Just on the formation, do you think this is the last iteration of where formation? So you're shaking your head.
No way.
What could you see?
I don't know, man.
Because next,
it goes in cycles.
Yeah.
We might end up going back to 4-4-2. Like football always goes in cycles.
I don't know.
So
I think 4-4-2. I know Newcastle kind of played it the other week. I just think 4-4-2 is dead.
We think that
as
now.
an old school guy, I'm just like,
we don't know. I reckon in 10-15 years' time, it might come back
if
around.
you need to play 4-4-2, against these guys now, you need a team of cyborgs. You like that the front six would have to cover so much ground, or the real formation you play in position, out of position, would be so different. You're not even really playing 4-4-2. And that's another thing. I think the whole formation thing is a little bit of a moot point. You almost got to talk about it now as what do you play when you've got the ball? And that's the thing that you got to do. What setup have you got without the ball? Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
And I think that's another thing. But nah, man. I mean, I remember, again, Mourinho came with a 4-3-3, Robin, Duff, all of that. And I just thought, this is dope. And then you start hearing about this left backs are cutting into midfield, and I was like, huh? And then we even had overlapping centre backs. It was the Sheffield United manager. So who knows, mate? Who knows? And then now they've got AI getting involved. Have you heard about this stuff?
No.
So they've got I can't remember which company it is. They're now the AI is analysing games, analysing situations, and helping coaches understand the best solutions to certain situations. And they're even using it for set pieces. I think Liverpool have been using AI for set pieces, right? So there's definitely a lot to come and to change. Definitely. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know where we're gonna go, but we're definitely going in that direction.
Because if you look at it, the fact that teams played just 2 midfielders in the middle park, the biggest area of the pitch, for so many years, and it took so long for someone to be like, let me just put a third man in there and kill it off. Like,
but it took so long for us in the UK.
No, but even I know, but even like we didn't really see it pre-Porto, Mourinho too tough. Like in his what's it called, Europa League, his UEFA Cup run. And it's like, he's doing something a bit different. Yeah,
but I guess if everyone else has got 2 men in there, then you're cool, right?
Yeah, but I say because everyone had to, I just surprised it took someone so long to be like, let me just throw a third man in there and disrupt everything. And that's such a disruptor that everyone had to change.
Yeah. The only other formation apart from 4-4-2 was if you went 3 man in there, it'd be 3-5-2. You play with wing backs. That was the only other formation that was about.
Newcastle.
Yeah, Glenn Hoddle used to play it as well. For England as well. And that was the only other form. But only specialists could do it. You needed specialist wing backs. Right players to do it.
Yeah, so mate, I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I mean,
someone's working on something.
Look, I'll tell you. Look, you know one of my gripes with him, I think he thinks he's too clever. He's definitely thinking of something. That whole party at right back, then moving into this area, then this. These guys are coming up with stuff. They're drawing up mad stuff on the whiteboard. We just don't see it yet, or they don't feel like they got the players yet. Someone's going to come with something. I'm just waiting for like something crazy, like in open play, goalkeepers doing quarterback from the edge of the center circle or something. Because apart from that, to be honest, now. It doesn't, not that it doesn't matter, it's more where you ask your players to be, what you ask them to do in certain situations in or out of possession.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get to a point where we don't even talk about formation anymore.
Yeah, it's player discipline, isn't it?
And we just talk about. It'll be a bit like it'll become a bit like plays, I think. But I think we're gonna edge more towards an American sports style plays. Oh, when Arsenal have got the ball in this zone.
But it's coming in with the set pieces, like with you guys. Like it's not just whip a corner in, it's put
I'm
the corner
seeing guys
here.
block a play. I mean, you watch NFL, that's
They're
you must
doing
be seeing
picks.
like,
They're doing picks like basketball. Like basketball. It's a pick and roll like basketball.
Serious.
But the one thing I will agree a little bit with James is that it's taken a little bit of the natural flair out at the game. It's becoming those free spirits, a James type players, they are becoming less and less, and that's take away a little bit from the game.
You think so?
Yeah.
He says that, but again, there weren't that many before, right? Let's be honest. Like when we look at the top teams, we could probably count the 10. The 10 of them that were allowed to do that stuff. Zidane, this, that. And I think now they're celebrated. You know, Odegaard is doing kind of what he wants when he's got the ball. You have got players like Maddison who got a bit more license to try and be creative. There's a few. There might be a little bit less. But people talk like we had every team. Someone was rolling stepovers and doing
There's
no
no
looks.
one doing the Raquelme and all that kind of thing.
No, but you can't do. No, but you can't. No one's doing that again. No, I'll say, bro, in this modern game, bro. But if you watch him play, when I watch Raquelme clips now, I don't know how he got away with it then. He watched the whole game.
Yeah, but my man is affecting the game.
But they had the protection though. If you lose the ball doing a madness now.
You're crucified.
He was so sick, but you are not getting away with that type of movement, that type of like positional set, bro. You're not getting. It's not going to be allowed. You won't even make it through the academy, bro. You keep thinking about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what we're losing. But we're losing that, and I don't think that's right.
But
because
I guess
he's one of the most talented players you've seen.
No, but I guess you're talking about the way he did it, but the stuff he did, the passes, the nutmegs. But we're seeing that now. But the player who does it will still do his 15 sprints.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, I see what you're saying. Because even the Ronaldinhos, Robinhos, bruv, those guys, they put a shift in with the ball. Without the ball, maybe not as much as you'd like, but they still put. But Raquelme was in his own league, bro. He was in, like, he just was gliding on water the whole game, you know? Even if you go back to Ortega and all those guys they would, you know, beat players with pace from time to time and do stuff. So yeah, I think the number 10, that very, very old school number 10 maybe, but I actually think that now we've got athletic, you know, guys who work without the ball, and when they get the ball, they've got the freedom to be creative and to make stuff and to make stuff happen. And you hear coaches like Klopp that kind of say, look, when they get to final third, I don't tell them what to do.
Yeah.
You know, you hear Henry used to say, Guardiola would say, it's my job to get you to the final third and then you lot do what you're doing. So, and look at De Bruyne. De Bruyne is not necessarily a twinkle toes kind of player, but even the passes he chooses, the passes he picks, the risks he takes, that's very number 10. Like, some people would even risk some of the passes that he pulls off. They wouldn't even bother. So yeah. And then now to move on to another topic that one of my friends Ant put on Twitter. So Dominic Solanke has got what now, Keith? 19 Premier League goals.
19 league goals. Not a bad return.
So this is where the stats is going to annoy people. But after hitting 19 Premier League goals, Solanke now has more goals this season than Andrew Cole had in 14 of his 16 Premier League seasons.
Means nothing.
Means nothing.
Means nothing.
So I guess the point of Ant's tweet was, we look at former players with some, you know, with some reverence. But if you take any bias, any emotional bias, and just look at what they both did, we might start looking at a few men a bit differently. Now, me personally, for me, some of the finishes, some of the stuff he did at Newcastle, Champions League, for me, it's the whole picture. But just Prem, does he have a point?
No, and I'll tell you why. Is that you just said he done 16 seasons, so it's a consistency. It's not just Solanke done this one season.
Yeah, but that one season has already put him higher than 14 of his 16 seasons.
Well, I need to see Solanke do this for another 8-9 years then for him then to be considered in the same bracket or better than Cole. You're having one purple patch season. That's all right. That's a good season, but where it's consistency. It's not only one good season and then you're going to go back to what you was before.
But if we turn it around, and say, I'll come to you second case. Sorry, if you turn around and say, okay, you're right. I think regular saying for me, two things can be true. I'm not saying Solanke is better than Cole, and I don't think that's what Anton's saying. But
you never know.
You never know. You never know. But I guess the point he's saying is the basis on which we assess Andrew Cole's Prem status and his Prem legacy. Does it make you look at it a bit different when a player who, let's be honest, he's doing well, but we don't regard Dominic Solanke as one of the top Premiership strikers, right? He's doing okay, but he's not a name that comes immediately to mind. If he's already surpassed most of the performances that a legend like Andy Cole has done in 14 seasons out of 16, is there a reassessment that's needed here?
No, I don't think so. And you got to look back at Solanke's career. Like, Solanke's been a pro for 8-9 years. So it's not like he's just come on the scene. You put it like that. It's not like he's just come on the scene and, you know what I mean, hit these numbers. He could say, oh yeah, there's a trajectory here that could happen. Like, he's played in the Prem previously. And I think if you put his previous Prem numbers together, where it's 3 or 4 seasons, they don't come anywhere near the 19. So yeah, there's going to be times where players you're not expected to hit certain numbers are going to outdo players of the past. But if you look at it in its totality, he's had a really good season. If he continues this for another 3 or 4 years, then you can say, oh, there's a conversation to be had here.
No, there isn't.
But
I
guess, I mean, just in terms of goal record, not in terms of accolades and stuff like that.
Because my thing is with that, sorry, to add into that point is, the reason why I said there isn't, and me and him will argue about this for years, but it was because I do still believe that because then if that's the case, someone else that was in the conversation was like, then what? Kevin Phillips then? He did 30 that one season.
He's done 30,
Like,
Palmer's got 21, 22 now. I know he's not a striker, but
so I guess the thing is for me is if I score 12 goals in a team, this goes back to our Harry Kane, right, argument. If I score 12 goals in a team and I'm contributing to that team, winning the league or winning stuff, that's one thing. If I'm at Everton scoring 28 goals that season, that's great. But there will be a reason why if I do that every season, you know, Andy Cole scored goals that contributed to Manchester United's achievements whilst he was there every single year. The goal against Tottenham where basically if they don't win that game, they don't win the league basically. He scores that goal. He might have only scored 8 goals that season. Bro, that 8th goal helped them win the league.
Yeah, I struggle with that though. I struggle with individual achievements and team achievements.
I know, we know.
I separate them. I separate them because him scoring 8 goals at Man United winning the league, is that better than someone else scoring 30 somewhere else and they come 10th? I don't think it is.
It goes back to it depends on the conversation we're having. That's what I'm saying. So, and this is what's going to happen with Harry Kane, I think, right? So we're going to have players who will have had decent goal scoring, apart from Haaland, right? He's just going to score player goals, right? But we can look back at players who had decent goal scoring returns in teams that achieved stuff. And we can have players who broke. Harry Kane has won Golden Boot 5 times, all of that. He's never going to have a Prem medal unless he comes back and plays for a team that's going to win the Prem. That looks unlikely now, right? But he might get a league medal at Bayern next year, maybe. But if he ends his career without a league medal, basically without a major trophy.
Well, he hasn't got one.
What's the conversation? What's the conversation going to be? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, what are we? Are we thinking who's got a better legacy? Who's going to be regarded as a better player?
Well, and that's what I mean. So if the conversation is going to be about best English striker, or greatest English striker, Harry Kane will probably, in most people's eyes, be that guy, right? And then people will chime in and be like, "Well, hold on,
can we change striker to goal scorer? Because if you striker, you got to take everything into consideration, I think, then. Right. If you just say our greatest ever goal scorer, you could even say that now, to be honest. But striker, I think you've got to take in.
So what you?
Everything.
But when you say taking everything, are you saying taking team achievements then?
Yeah, of
Or
course.
are you not just everything with player?
No, but striker and goal scorer is position as the same thing. I think what you would say is career, because when people talk about stuff, they talk about career. When they roll these pundits out on TV, when they put it underneath their name, they can always tell, the people that have won stuff, they just put what they've won. Boom, boom, boom.
People
that haven't,
it's goals.
goals. No, they put 400 appearances in the Premier League, 42 goals, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
So if we're talking about Andy Cole and we've mentioned Andy Cole, Kane, Solanke, so then we could do Cole and Shearer, because they're the same sort of era and it's a similar conversation. It's a similar argument.
Yeah.
As in,
no, I agree.
What career do you want at Cole and Shearer, and
but I'm
who's
not
going to
lie.
be regarded as the in time? Who's we know now because they've finished playing. So we know
who had the better career. Andy Cole had the better career.
Who's regarded? Who's regarded as having
Shearer,
because he got the goal scoring record, innit? That's the only reason why.
I don't think that's why.
I don't think it is either. I don't think that's the
Oh,
reason.
really?
I think it's the whole package, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
He was like hometown hero in Newcastle. He was a #1 guy for England, and I think that matters a lot.
But that's what I'm saying. Kane is basically the next generation of Shearer.
I agree. Yeah. So that's what I said. Kane will be the most revered English striker after Shearer. But I would argue he kind of shouldn't be, because there are people who.
I think he'll be above Shearer when he finishes.
Nah, not without a trophy.
I think he'll be above Shearer.
No, he will.
I think he'll be above Shearer. He's got the England record. I think he'll be above Shearer.
Yeah. And also, Shearer's career, the whole social media and all the stuff he's doing now, came at the tail of his career. Harry's done it all the way through. Like, whatever Harry's going to do or wants to do after, he can do. He's basically Beckham without the medals.
Nah.
And without the post. You know what I mean, though? In a football sense, like, whatever. Bro, okay, you know what he's going to be like? He's going to be like the football team Hemman. That is what Harry Kane's going to be.
No, that's too far.
No, but
that's a good shout, you know. I see where he's going. I see where he's going.
Because the way that guy is respected,
as if he dominated.
Bro, like, if you get to this planet and look at how Tim Hemman is talked about and revered, etc., you would think that guy has banged Grand Slams, was world #1 at one point. You would think he's Andy Murray. He had Andy Murray's career.
Yeah, but Kane is on a higher level than Tim Hemman.
I know, but I'm talking about after he's finished.
He has been #1. He is #1. He's probably the best striker in the world. Tim Hemman was never the best tennis player in the world. Kane's the best striker in the world right now.
He's the best striker in the world right now?
Well, goal scorer.
I'd give him that. Best number 9.
Number 9. Yeah.
There's no number 9 better than Harry Kane.
What?
There isn't.
Right now.
There isn't.
Right now.
Right now, today.
Right now, today.
You can't tell me.
As of when? Like, from what time? This season?
Haaland
was better than him last year. Haaland was better than him last season.
No, he wasn't.
Haaland wasn't better than Harry Kane last season?
No, he's not a better player.
No way. No way.
He wasn't a better... He said goal scorer, bro.
No, but we're having a conversation now.
No.
You said goal scorer. No, to the past conversation. This conversation now...
You said number 9.
Yeah,
Haaland was a better number 9 than Harry last year.
As a package, he's not a better player than him. No,
wait, hold on. He said better number 9. So last year he wasn't, and today you're saying Harry is the best number 9 in the world today.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's an interesting conversation, though. It is a very interesting conversation.
Only because Haaland's had a dry patch for 4 weeks. If we had asked this 6 weeks ago, I don't think it.
But again,
no, I'm talking about
we talk about
total.
Yeah, but the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yeah. So back to the point. I think. I think when you look at stats in a certain way, it's hard to argue, right? That is a fact. What Anne said is a fact.
Yeah.
Solanke has now this season.
But it's a manipulation of facts, though, isn't it? It's a manipulation of facts, isn't it?
The thing is, because you said it's better than...
No, but he didn't say what the fact meant.
Was it 14 seasons out of 16? But the thing is, if you take both players and you took the best 15 seasons, it would probably be 14 of Cole's and 1 of Solanke's. That's what it would be. That's what it would be.
Yeah. No, 100%. But it is interesting one, and I think the other thing with stats as well, and it's not like I'm trying to water things down, but again, I think I did look at the stats. Are we scoring more goals these days than they were then? Like, is the average number of goals higher?
The goals in the Premier
are on the increase. Because the Golden Boot is being won with a lot less goals. Remember, they used to be hitting 30 regular.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, if you take how many goals have been scored in the Premiership year on year, it's increasing.
But the golden boot, so it must be more spread out.
Oh, yeah.
Because remember,
Yeah,
they were hitting 30s, like, and now people are winning it on 24
No,
and
but
stuff
people
like that.
hitting 30 that often though.
Yeah, man, the Henrys and all
Again,
that.
that might not be.
The Henrys, the Shearers, the Phillips, they were hitting 30 regular.
I don't think many were hitting 30 regular.
Yeah,
I think
we
it
need
was
to check
hit.
that.
Shearer and that was hitting 30s regular.
I need to check that because.
Have a look to see what the golden boots
But
were
again,
being
so
won at.
if there were less goals being scored, then 12 goals then and 12 goals now, for me, they weight differently. It's different weighting to it. So these are all the kind of little things you got to take into account. But when you look at the cold facts, yes, Solanke's one season has been better than most of Andy Cole's from a goal tally perspective. Just goals was 16. But it was just interesting. He got a lot of backlash, man. Got a lot of backlash, but it was it's interesting.
To be fair, I don't think Cole ever won a golden boot.
He didn't.
No.
And the thing is,
the quality of strikers was better back then. So
yeah, and they talk about it all the time, bro.
Yeah.
That period was just crazy. Because Owen, Fowler, Shearer, Ian Wright, Andy Cole,
Sheringham, Sutton,
York.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I bet for England.
Yeah, but even just in the league, it was mad. It was mad. Yeah, that was a mad time for English striker. But I do think if Andrew Cole had played more for England, all those little things, people remember him better. Like the way people talk about him, like his goal record in the Prem. Again, if you came from another planet, you wouldn't know that this is one of the highest scoring players in the Premiership history. You wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Like they need to put a bit more respect on his name.
Yeah,
all right, cool. And then lastly, it's that time of year. Player of the year, young player of the year, and player of the year. Before we get into, let me get the nominations. Keith shared this the other day. Let me find it. Because I think there's an interesting, again, another one with football, man. It's so subjective. And there's bare arguments both ways. Like, so let's do young player of the year first. All right, so I've got young player of the year here. So, young player of the season, these are the nominations. Foden, Haaland, Isak, Mainu, Cole Palmer, Bukayo Saka, Saliba, Udogie. By the way, you know it's funny, football fans. Some people I'll say their whole name. Some people only say their surname.
Yeah,
I have this thing where when it rolls, we just it's Declan Rice. It's never just Rice. So those are the nominees for young player of the season. I need to confirm what's the cut for young player because
I think it's 23, isn't it?
No, it's 24 because Isak's 24. And they need to lower that to 21.
No, but I think
it's just when at the beginning of the season. Yeah, so he's 24 now, but he's 23 when the season started.
That's still too high.
And I think everyone said it. I've been saying it for the last few years. It's too high.
It should be 21, no?
Yeah,
21
what it is
younger.
because now players are starting a lot more earlier. So now you're getting these. Before, if you go back, people 23, they only played their first couple of seasons. Now people are starting in the first team at 18 years 19. Old. So like you got seasoned Prem players there now that are still a young player of the year.
Foden's in like his, sixth or seventh season?
Crazy, yeah. It's crazy.
Mad.
And you got Saka. Saka's still going to be in next year and the year after that. Could still be young player of the year. It's crazy.
And also, doesn't it align? Because the under 21s, it's the year you were born for that specific group or something, doesn't it? So you can still play for under 21s till like you're 23 or something, can't you?
Yeah, it's when you start that cycle of the tournament. So 18 months. So
maybe it aligns to that. But
they need to lower it.
Who's your vote then? Who would you guys give it to?
Out of those players, it's got
Carl Palmer. I'll give mine.
Nah, Foden.
I think I'll give Foden the main one, so I'll give Carl. I'll give Carl.
I would
give him the main one.
I can't give them both. They don't give them both.
Wait, man, let's do one of all at a time, bro. Let's do one. So young player of the season, I would give it to Cole Palmer, but it should probably go to Foden. But I would give it to Cole because the way I look at young player of the season, someone could easily counter that with, Foden's influence in a team that's pushing for the title, all that kind of stuff. The reason why I would give it to Cole Palmer is to put up the numbers he's put up, to be one of the driving forces of dragging that team from where they were. And quite frankly, it's that team lacks discipline. It's a little bit chaotic. To put up the numbers he's put up this season, I think it's fantastic. In your first Prem season as well, I don't think we've seen many people his age in their first fully Premiership season put up numbers like that. I don't think we've seen any.
Yeah, his
totally
numbers are
agree.
really good. But I just think
Mm.
Foden has
Maybe.
displayed.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to do your Cole Palmer rubbish.
No, I've done
Okay,
that
yeah.
last week. Don't need to do it again. Yeah, I just think he just displayed qualities in Champions League, pretty much consistently throughout the Premier League this season. And yeah, it's hard.
I think for Foden is
Yeah.
top, bro.
Foden's been brilliant, but Palmer's been brilliant. And as you said, the numbers. And I think Foden's really won it, so I'd give it to Palmer. I'll give it to
That shouldn't
Palmer.
matter,
Yeah,
Participation.
That should have mattered,
Oh
man.
no, I think he's been as good as he's been as good as him in a different way. I think he's had being around that Chelsea team.
Yep.
He hasn't got the structure that Foden's got. Foden's got a platform there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
easy to perform. Not easier.
Yeah,
It's not
he's
easy.
still gotta use the
easier,
platform.
yeah.
Yeah,
he's
So
still
it's
gotta use it.
easier
Yeah.
to see someone being successful in that structure that he's got.
Yeah, no,
To
it's
be
true.
at Chelsea, Palmer could have easily had a rubbish season and no one said nothing.
Yeah, it's
Everyone,
true.
he would have got a pass.
Yeah.
No one thought too.
Yeah,
words
and to be
about it,
fair, the
so-
fee as well was only
Yeah.
40 million.
So
That's
that
a
no
bargain
one
these
said
days.
anything. He didn't. So
Well, I remember Chelsea were getting cussed for paying 40 million for him.
Yeah.
He's hardly played any games.
Yeah,
It's
well, you
crazy,
knew
but
they were in it. Like
now-
yeah,
Now he's looking like a snip.
yeah, definitely.
How much are other people paying for players who can score 20 Premier League goals?
But Anthony was double.
Well, less said about that, the better. I want to give a shout out to Menu because when did he get into the Man United first team? It wasn't a
January?
big. Yeah.
Yeah,
So to put himself in the picture, do what he's done since January, I think it's good. I think he's done really well since he's come in. Obviously, like most young players, he's had ups and downs, but you know, to break into the team and have the influence he's had in 4 or 5 months, I think that's a shout out for me for him. And of course, others, no surprises there. Obviously, Haaland, he's still only 22 or something, or 23. Obviously, Saka was going to be there. Isak having a great
He's
season.
been brilliant.
Edu,
Yeah.
please pick up the phone. And then Saliba. I guess I would have thought Gabriel would be in there, but I don't think you can have more than 2 from any one team. So out here.
No, I think you can.
Oh, you can, yeah?
Yeah. Ain't he too old?
Who, Gabriel?
Yeah.
I thought he was the same age as Saliba.
No, Gabriel's too old.
Oh, he's 24, 25 now?
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
One person I did want to mention who got snubbed, I think Anthony Gordon should have been in there.
Above who?
I think he's been really good this season. Dogie, probably.
Ooh.
yeah. Dogie one, I was a bit surprised at. To be fair,
Oh, but Anthony Gordon in there.
That's not a bad shout, to be fair.
Harvey Elliott.
But he's had a decent
Yeah.
shout. Man. All right, player of the season. Phil Foden, Erling Haaland again. Isak, again, I'm happy for that nomination. I think it's good. Martin Odegaard, Cole Palmer, Declan Rice, Ollie Watkins, and Virgil van Dijk. These legacy votes, bruv. What is Van Dijk doing in there for player of the season?
Yeah, he should. He's not even been our best player, as I said in
Bruv.
the group. I don't know why.
He should have been in there for Liverpool then if you had to pick a Liverpool player.
McAllister.
I don't think he should have been in
No,
there.
I'm not saying. I'm saying he's been our best player. Like,
that's
it's fine, yeah. Not that he should have been.
I'm going to make sure we clip it correctly like how you did to me last week. You
I do
cunt.
the clips, bro.
Whatever, man. Right, who are you going for player of the season? This is tougher.
Depends how the league pans out.
Yeah. We got to do that after the league, innit?
Yeah, if City win it, Foden. If Arsenal win it, I'll give it.
Why though?
Right.
Why do we do this? Because
you've
but your
contributed to your team
performance
to
is not
win
different,
something.
whether you win it or not. Your performance is not different.
No,
it's still the
but
same
it's
Rice
performance.
could play a madness next week.
Which,
Rice could do a madness next week. You know,
your
Foden could score a hat-trick on Tuesday, a hat-trick on Sunday.
Foden could be rubbish the next 2 games, and Rice could still do a madness, and Man City could still win the league.
But they
So
contribute-
it
contribute-
don't matter. Like,
No.
your performance is your performance.
No, I think whilst there's still minutes to play and there's still big stuff on the line, yeah, you got to wait. I think it's hard, man. For me, it would have to be Rice or Foden, you know?
I'll give it
Yeah.
to Foden.
I think
Rice or
Rice or Foden, yeah. Interesting.
Right, I'm
Interesting.
surprised Odegaard's in there, to be fair.
No,
No,
he's
I'm
been.
not.
Is it?
No, I'm not.
Started
bruv.
off a bit slow.
I thought he was
but
better last
he's
season.
been-
I thought he was better last season.
Nah, I think he's been better this season.
No, I think he's been more structured.
I think last season
This
we
year.
didn't expect it. We
Yeah.
we saw his true form, but this season, I mean, some of the stuff, even some of the stuff he's been doing since January, we're winning all the games.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Reverse passes and all that.
I think his goals has really gone down this season, though. I think it was.
But if he's
Something.
contributing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like again, it's like the whole stats thing. Like sometimes the eye test, like you watch him play, and you're like, yeah, this guy's it.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure if we were those kind of stats guys, we would find the stats to back that up. I'm finding new stats every day. I read one yesterday. Yeah, I rolled my eyes so bad. I said, I'm not even bringing this to the pod. Like, I need to read it again to understand what the stat is, and then I'll try and come and explain it. But every week, some new company has invented some new stat, and that's kind of where it is. So yeah, let us know who you think should be Young Player of the Year or Player of the Year.
I'm surprised Gabriel ain't in that one as well. Actually,
Do you want to?
Yeah, but that's why I heard that you could only have 2 players from each team. That's why I was surprised.
Do you want to do Manager of the Year quickly?
and
Did
even
you see that?
Rodri as well. Rodri, I would put in there.
Yeah, that's true. We had that conversation, didn't we? You said Rodri gets overlooked. But if it's true about 2 players from each team, you'd probably put Rodri over Haaland. But the problem is, Haaland's about to win his 2nd Golden Boot in a row. You can't sniff at that, bro. At his age, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Or is Manager of the Year depending on who wins the league as well?
No. What's the Manager of the Year when I saw? Oh, here we go. I got it here.
Yeah.
So, Mikel Arteta, Unai Emery, Pep Guardiola, Iraola, I don't know his first name, and Jurgen Klopp. I think Klopp's going to win it on some farewell business.
No way.
No way.
No, I think that goes on whoever wins the league.
Yeah.
Really, it should be Arteta, but whoever wins the league.
Why should it be Arteta even though he doesn't win the league? Why should it be Arteta?
Because he played the best football.
He's got the most goals, least goals conceded.
But if that-
Has he?
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
I just think he's had the best coaching performance of the season.
I tell you what.
Not lost a game to the traditional Big Six this season.
True.
Unbeaten. I think he's had the best coaching. I think he's got the most out of his squad, but may not win it because City may get less out of their squad, but their potential's higher.
I don't think he's got the most out of his. I think he's got more out of his squad than it is last season. But if he had got the most out of his squad, they would have kept control of the title race. We would have kept control of our title race.
You think he could have got more out of that squad?
Well, we
this
put
season?
ourselves there. No one handed that to us, man. Them not earned that control. Do you know what I'm saying? They earned that control. So if he'd got the most out of that squad, we would have kept a grip of it.
He's done it.
Well.
I think it's the best coaching performance.
I think if you asked him, he would say he could, like there was.
Yeah, he's not going to say I got the most out of it, because he's always going to say there's more.
No. I know what you mean, but in terms of if you look back at this season, there was another step, and he wouldn't even say he got the most out of it, but me and you would say that because you took on Man City, you put yourself in a certain position, and then you held on to it. Because if we lose this league, we're only going to lose it by what? 2 points.
2 points will be 2 points.
I would like 1 year for a manager who's done well with this situation to win it.
I'm never going to do it.
Like, I wouldn't be mad if Iraola won it.
Yeah. Even Emery.
I don't know about that one. I don't know about Emery winning it.
But I understand what you mean. Someone who is down the league, but they've outperformed what they was expecting. It's about expectation and performance.
Yeah, and the story, like, I want to play this way. Players were struggling with it. Looked like it was going to look nuts for me after me backing the decision. And then the players come into it. And again, stats. There's lots of stats that, from a certain point in the season, even this calendar year, I think they're 3rd or 4th on points gained. All of this kind of stuff.
And they didn't win a game for the first 2 months.
Exactly. So that kind of turnaround, it would be nice to see that actually, yes, the Artetas, the Guardiolas, the Klopps, Emerys. But again, if you do it tool for tool, they had more tools, they had more investment, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but it's about because everyone thinks City's going to win the league. You predict them to come first, they come first.
Yeah.
Someone like Bournemouth, you probably predict them to come 16th, 17th, and they're going to come 10th. So that's a bigger jump. That's a much
people
better
are willing
performance.
to bet with me that Bournemouth are going to get relegated.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, if Arteta wins the league, he should definitely get it. Anyone that wins the league against Pep should definitely get it.
Basically, but if Pep gets it because he won the league, no point having the award. Might as well just give it to whoever wins the league every year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's going to sound mad, but if Arteta wins the league, he should get it, probably, right? If Pep wins the league, they should give it to Iraola, bro.
No, that's not mad to me. That's not mad at all because Guardiola's expected to win the league.
Yeah.
At the start of the season, he's got the best squad.
But if we look at it the other way, he's these teams still have to go and do it.
I know, but
They still have to go and do it. They still have to go and do it every week.
then Bournemouth still had to go and do it as well.
Yeah. I'm just trying to sit from the other side.
I can see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
And it's
I-
fourth one in a row. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. You know. Yeah, I don't know, man. It would be nice. Like, it would be nice. I wonder if we, like in the NBA, loads of stuff in your contract triggered by stats. Or if you get into the defensive team of the year, if you become is it all pro? No,
All
that's
NBA.
All
NBA, yeah.
team.
It goes straight into your money, straight
all of
into,
that. So I wonder if there's anything like nominated for
Yeah.
manager of the
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, but probably.
Yeah, probably.
You know,
All
I
those
wonder.
little
It would be
incentives.
interesting.
In
We
the
need to get
NBA,
Liam back on
it
and ask him and
decides
stuff.
what contract they can offer
Yeah,
you.
as well
Like
as
they
get
can only offer you
Supermax.
certain,
Yeah.
they can offer you certain money if you get in the All
'Cause
NBA
didn't-
team. Yeah,
Wasn't it Clay Thompson or
yeah,
someone?
yeah. He
So
got injured. He got injured
Yeah.
and he lost the money because he didn't get it.
Because he didn't get in the
Yeah.
All NBA team. Yeah. And I mean, we're talking 8 figures.
Yeah.
Yeah, big money.
So-
Big money.
So yeah, no, we need to get Liam back on here before the
That's
season
it.
starts and ask him some of that stuff because it'll be interesting. Because again, Irola and Emery,
Yeah,
Bruv,
and even
that
things
could
like team of the year, we have to do our team of the year in the season, but that's another thing that
Yeah,
probably triggers.
true.
Yeah,
that might trigger some stuff. Yeah. Because I know if you become top scorer for the club, if you become top scorer in the league, strikers, they got all that kind of stuff. So yeah, all right, cool, nice one, boys. Before
Nice
we
one,
go,
lads.
as always, please like, share, subscribe, comment. Again, you guys. You guys are coming with all your really thoughtful comments. So yeah, keep them coming, especially you jokers on TikTok. All right. See you next week. Peace.
Peace.
see ya.